3 die in a rollover accident in Richland.
Women's transit is helping keep WSU safe.
And the WSU football team takes on Arizona State in Tempe. Tonight, those stories and more as complete coverage of your local news starts right now. Good evening, I'm Megan Crenshaw.
And I'm Dominic Sheldon. Thanks for joining us this evening.
3 are dead after an SUV rolled over Sunday morning. The Washington State Patrol says the driver was on the phone moments before his SUV rolled on Interstate 182 in Richland, killing him, his wife, and their 8-year-old nephew. Senior Trooper Brian Ball says the couple's 3 children were also in the vehicle. The family was leaving a birthday party in Pasco when the SUV swerved off the road and rolled 7 times. Troopers found the vehicle around 7 the next morning. KNDU-TV reports 32-year-old Joel Barajas and 28-year-old Bertha Barajas died at the scene. Their nephew has not been identified.
An Eastern Washington football recruit is dead after a Halloween shooting. Police say 18-year-old Devin Tops, who graduated from Kent Ridge High last year, was confronted by a group of men after leaving a Halloween party. Police say one of the suspects in the group pulled out a gun and opened fire. Tops was hit and collapsed near his truck. He was unarmed. Tops signed a letter of intent to play for Eastern Washington University on a full-ride scholarship. Police are continuing their investigation and say it doesn't appear the shooting was gang-related or that any substance abuse had occurred.
A store clerk who refused to turn over money to robbers was shot in the chest last night in Yakima. Police Sergeant Shelley Upton told the Yakima Herald-Republic the wounded man was taken to Yakima Regional Medical Center and is expected to survive. Police did recover 1 weapon north of the business. Upton says the masked man and woman fired several shots before fleeing on foot. Police roped off the area and searched a nearby Halloween haunted house, but the suspects eluded the police.
An unidentified object led to the evacuation of a Spokane County jail. Officials found a suspicious object this morning in a minimum security living unit at Airway Heights Correctional Facility. After staff and offenders were evacuated from the scene, the Spokane County Bomb Squad and Hazmat team removed the object, which they determined was a pop can with a paper wick. There was a small amount of mineral oil in the can. There were no injuries, and the Airway Heights Police and Fire Departments will conduct further investigation.
The Spokane Fire Department responded to a 3-alarm fire yesterday. The fire took place at the Houston House Apartments in North Spokane at around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. It started on the 2nd floor of the apartment and quickly spread to the 3rd floor. Fire crews battled the blaze for nearly 2 hours until it was too dangerous to continue. At that point, crews built a trench outside of the building to prevent the fire from spreading to other apartment units. Authorities say there were no injuries, but more than 85 people were affected by the blaze.
The recent weather has kept a winter mood around Pullman, but what will the week bring us? I'm Cody Secker, and I'll have your weather right after the break.
Fruit. What a tasty treat.
Welcome back. The weather today in Pullman was a little chilly as highs hit 57 degrees for tonight. It's going to be a low of 48 with winds out of the south to southwest at 9 miles an hour. Going on to tomorrow, likely showers tonight with 38 degrees with the winds in the east to northeast at 10 miles an hour. For tomorrow, it's looking mostly cloudy, as highs are going to hit 57 degrees with a low of 41, and the winds in the west out of the west at 8 miles an hour. Let's go to the state map now. Pretty much even all around in Spokane, as you can see, a high of 56, a low of 46. Yakima, the warm temperature of the day, as highs hit 67. On the west side of the state, it was pretty consistent as Seattle hit 57 degrees and Olympia hit 60 degrees for highs today. As we go into the 5-day forecast, it's going to be pretty sunny Wednesday and Thursday with highs in the upper 60s, highs in the upper 50s to lower 60s. But going into the weekend, Friday should be pretty decent for you. Saturday and Sunday, expect rain though. That's it for the weather. Back to the desk.
Women's Transit offers female students a safe way to get home at night. Cable 8 reporter Jill Winters has more in this report.
WSU was recently named the safest school.
A Spokane driver hits a traffic light pole, another light pole, and finally a tree in downtown Spokane last night. The driver of the car told police someone was chasing him. Police say the driver was traveling at speeds over 100 miles per hour. Emergency crews took the driver to the hospital for a head injury. He's expected to be fine. Police say they will charge the driver with reckless driving. Investigators have not yet released the name of the driver.
An expected close Senate race has been brewing across the state of Washington. Democratic Senator Patty Murray and Republican challenger Dino Rossi traveled across the state during the final weekend of their closely watched contest, urging supporters to send their votes in before tomorrow's deadline. Republicans need 10 seats to gain control of the Senate, and the Murray-Rossi race could be key to the national outcome. Both candidates' backgrounds are well known to the state, as Murray has served 3 Senate terms, while Rossi has 2 failed bids for governor over the past 6 years.
As the elections loom, voter turnout is expected to be big. Secretary of State Sam Reed predicts that 66% of Washington's registered 3.6 million voters, which actually comes out to nearly 2.4 million, will make a vote in tomorrow's election. Reed's office says it will be the biggest voter turnout since 1970. Ballots must be postmarked or dropped off Tuesday for them to count.
Both political parties in Spokane are making a strong push before Election Day officially begins tomorrow. The parties are now more concerned about getting people to turn in their ballots rather than trying to persuade them. Volunteers throughout the area are calling homes and knocking on doors to make sure every ballot gets counted. Both candidates in Spokane's 6th District State Senate race, Democrat incumbent Michael Marr and Republican Michael Baumgardner, say they have already knocked on over 10,000 doors throughout the election season.
Apparently, you can still be sued at a very young age. New York Supreme Court Justice Paul Wooten says the case against then 4-year-olds Juliet Breitman and Jacob Cohn can still be pursued in court despite their age. The decision stemmed from an incident in April 2009 when both kids struck an 87-year-old woman with their training bikes. The woman underwent surgery for a fractured hip and died 3 months later. Wooten says he rejected the argument that the case should be dismissed because of age, and it will proceed.
Betting on a long shot does have its benefits. A horse called Maoi Chintire became a winner after beating 200-to-1 odds in a hurdle race in England. Trained by 35-year-old Jenny Candlish in central England, Mayo Chintire was making his debut over hurdles and started the outsider of 13 runners. After racing towards the back from early on, the horse made up good ground and won by a large margin over Ford jockey Alan O'Keefe.
Well, that's all the news we have for you tonight.
Be sure to tune in every weeknight at 7 and 10 o'clock. Have a good night.
Oh, that's quite the story about the horse race, huh?
Talk about long odds. WSU is very similar in those football odds.
We'll see. 2 out of their next 3 games, they might have a chance.
Apple Cup, we're winning.
Yeah.
Apple Cup,
Washington looked just as bad this weekend as we did. Losing 41-0 at home to Stanford, that wasn't very impressive either.
So 41-0, 42-0.
I guess if you want to compare it like that.
Pretty similar.
Still on the downside.
Major
We'll
Seattle sports games didn't score a point. I think we combined for like 3 points.
Yeah, with Seattle as well. Yeah.
So Washington just looking pretty good.